Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Bengt. Welcome back to another video. And this one we're talking about the biggest lessons that I've already learned in 2025, and we're not even halfway through January yet. We're barely into February. The new year is cruising by. Honestly, I kind of hate the new year. It feels like the first month or two always just like happen and nothing happens, if you get what I'm saying. Like between Christmas and New Year's, like all those 2-3 weeks, whatever, it's just like a blur anyway. The world is kind of just like feels like it's on a standstill, and nothing really crazy usually develops during that period of time. I don't know. For me, that period of time always just feels slow. So naturally, we kind of just like blink and we're into February. But it's been a pretty eventful past couple of weeks for me. Starting of the year has been pretty good, and there's already been like a couple key realizations and moments and things that I've had that have been really impactful for me. And I think that if anything, hopefully it is a sign for the things to come later this year, and the levels that we'll be able to take things to, personally, also with like business and other stuff as well. I'm pretty excited for some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline. But some of the shit that has happened so far has already tested me, and the biggest one for me so far has been eliminating the most negative habits that I have, and those that are the holding me back the most, not only from like a productivity standpoint, but also like just allowing me to be the best version of myself. And that would be ditching caffeine and nicotine. Now, while I will admit I do still drink coffee and stuff like that, from time to time, but you got to understand, I was going from drinking like 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine a day down to like a cup of coffee, which is like whatever, less than 100 most of the time. So that was a pretty hardcore shift. And also going from like smoking cigars, using nicotine gums and all that shit, to basically zero nicotine. I haven't had any since whatever, a couple weeks ago. But that shit was not easy, bro. My brain was literally I was at war with myself, bro, and that shit put a lot of stress on me, on my mental state. It also put stress on like my relationships and shit, because bro, anyone that's ever like taken stimulants or stuff like that, and especially if you're someone like me that's been using those things for years, and then to just like stop all of a sudden, your brain is like so discombobulated, your dopamine is all sorts of fucked up, and like everything just feels like shit. Everything feels like hard work. Getting out of bed feels like hard work. And you've got like 2 weeks. You've got like 2 weeks of hell that you need to get to, and then your brain kind of like recalibrates and you boot back up. And I feel like I'm on the other end of that, and it's like, bro, I feel like I have my fucking brain back. I feel like I have my personality back. I feel like I have a little bit of my like independent thinking back. I know that sounds retarded, but yeah, that's what it feels like. And that is something that has been a challenge for me. And honestly, there's been so many phases in my life where I've had periods of like complete abstinence and complete, like, I don't do anything, to periods where like I'm totally overboard consuming ungodly amounts of caffeine, nicotine, other shit, whatever. And it's just like, bro, like I definitely am the type of person that does things in excess, and would definitely say that I have a bit of an addictive tendencies. I wouldn't say personality, because I also have the ability to rein it in and like get my shit together when I need to. But I do definitely have tendencies where if my brain enjoys something, I don't know if my dopamine circuits are just a little fried or what, if the ADHD is a result of that. But sometimes when my brain finds something that it likes, it can be a little bit difficult to say no. And, that's something that has always been just like, I don't know, something that's happened or like I've dealt with, whether it be with substances or other shit. It is what it is, but it's also can be used productively as well. Like I can get addicted to pretty much anything, going to the gym, working out, reading, I can get just as involved in productive things as I can in negative things. And it's just really making the mindset shift to get that to happen. And the biggest thing that I've noticed is I know that doing things like caffeine, nicotine, like they can be productive, they can be tools, they can be used to your benefit, absolutely. However, when done in excess and also to like the capacity that I was, then it's obviously having a severe negative impact. And when you get to a point where you're dependent, basically all of the benefits of that particular substance are now gone, because now you need it to feel normal and just to function. So I'm not saying that there isn't any efficacy in using stimulants or other substances, whatever, for a particular desired result or outcome. But generally speaking, you know, it's, for me personally, just the way that my brain works, doing stuff like that a lot of times is dabbling with fire, and it can very easily get out of control for me. So I need to like just rein it back in, and a lot of times focusing more on just being productive and doing the shit that I know works for me, it makes me feel good, is the move. But the biggest thing that I want to say about using substances is, or just like having any addictions in general or bad habits that you know you need to kick, the worst part about it is once you realize that you no longer want to participate in that thing, it's no longer the addiction that's hurting you, it's the erosion of your free will and your willpower and your ability to choose, and also your ability to make decisions. Because it gets to a point where if you recognize that you don't want to be addicted to a particular thing, habit, substance, whatever, once you recognize that, it is no longer you that wants to continue consuming that particular thing. You are aware that you don't want it and you want to change that habit. So now it's your brain that's forcing you to basically act autonomously and just continue to feed it this substance that it's gotten accustomed to getting its illicit dopamine response from. So that's the part that fucks you up the most, is once you realize that it's no longer you that's at the wheel and it's your brain just kind of making these decisions for you. If you let that happen for long enough, there are other parts of your life that your brain will also start to just go into autonomy mode and start turning off your ability to make decisions on. So like with the addiction, and it's easy to use like caffeine or nicotine as an example, it starts with you're buying Zyn at the gas station and you don't even like really know why, because you said you were gonna quit and you said the last pack was the last one and you did that 1,000 fucking times, right? But that's not even the danger, bro. You wasting your money and wasting your time and feeding this addiction that you said you were gonna kick a while ago is not the danger. It's once you start to like put your brain to sleep and start ignoring the thing that says, hey, we said we were gonna be done with this. Hey, we said we were gonna stop this. And you can't get through that like fiend stage where you rewire your brain and basically slap the little fucking monkey in the back of your brain that has the symbols clashing together saying, we just want the nicotine, bro. We just give us the dopamine, bro. Like, if you refuse to slap the shit out of that little monkey and shut it the fuck up, that little voice in your brain that's just basically programming you to continue to take the easiest path of least resistance to getting the feel goods, it'll start to turn off other parts of your brain and fuck up other areas of your life, where it's like you start to become one of those like, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow type of people. Having addictions makes you lazy as fuck. And if you're lazy as fuck, then you're never, ever, ever going to be able to accomplish anything. You're probably going to start to lose progress on the stuff that you have been working for. I know for me, like when I'm fully fucking like cracked out on, you know, nicotine and caffeine, it starts being like, oh great, like dude, I want to be in the gym all the time. This feels fucking insane. But after a while, it's like you don't even want to do the gym anymore. You're like, fuck it, I'll just sit here and fucking smoke my fucking vape or whatever the fuck you do, right? So what I'm saying is, these addictions, if you don't get your fucking grip on them like quickly, the longer that you let it kind of run the ship, run the show, the harder and harder it gets to turn that part off and like rewire your brain. And the worse and worse that 2 to 3 week fucking fiend period is gonna be after. Which kind of leads me to the next thing. I know we're talking a lot about like addiction and stuff, but probably the second most important lesson for 2025 for me so far has been, if you're in hell, just keep fucking going. Like, it makes no sense if you're struggling, if you're really feeling pain, if you're really enduring something that is hard, but it's a hard that you chose, then you should most definitely keep going. And chances are, at some point in time, you will come out on the other side of that hard feeling, and the reward for that will be probably equal to, in proportion, the pain that you went through to get there. So if you're going through some shit right now, whether it be withdrawing from your fucking Zins, or whether it be, struggling to start your business and, figuring out how you're going to make money and just fucking grinding and, everything feels hard, then keep going, bro. You got this shit. You'll come out on the other side and be thankful you didn't give up, and thankful that you didn't succumb back to your old fucking self that was like, nah, we're not going to do this. Fuck this shit, bro. Like, whatever. Don't listen to that voice. You got this. Keep going. The third thing that has been most impactful for me for 2025 is probably just being more present, being right now. I wish I could like take a snapshot of my brain to like really show people what the fuck goes on inside between my two ears. But I've realized that like, I wouldn't say, if you asked me, do I have anxiety? I would say no. Because I'm not really anxious in social situations. I can be sometimes, but generally speaking, like when I think of anxiety, I think of like people with their hands shaking that like can't fucking get it together and like don't want to go outside, or like, just like that kind of shit, like debilitating anxiety. I certainly don't have that. But if we're going to define anxiety as more often than not, your brain is thinking about the future than the present, then I would say yes, I have some form of that. And I think that it's affected me in ways that I probably couldn't really see at first, in ways that I didn't really understand, where it's like I said, I wouldn't really have labeled it as anxiety. And I don't truthfully identify with that. I don't really feel like that's a term or a label that suits me, but I'm just thinking in my brain, like, because I spend more time thinking about the future, I'm anxious about the present because I'm playing out all of these like hypotheticals. I'm thinking about all these other things that like haven't even happened or might happen or whatever in the future. And a lot of it is based around like goals and, shit that I want to accomplish and stuff that I want to do. So it's not like overthinking in a negative way. It's almost like, it's really like positive overthinking. Like, I don't know how else to really explain it. Like, I'm thinking about a lot of things that I want to do that are possible, like goals for the future, things that I could accomplish, shit that I could build, the person that I could be. And then as soon as I start thinking about all those things in the future, it makes me realize in the present that I'm not that thing. And that's what causes the like self-negative talk, the self-doubt, stuff like that. The sun is beaming in my fucking eyes right now. But yeah, so I've been trying to just really like let go and let God. I know that sounds cliche as well, but it genuinely is something that is pretty impactful if you can just wake up and conquer what you need to conquer that day. And this is kind of like another thing that's been really important for me, is like waking up in the morning and just doing the stuff that I know I need to do to win. For me, that is like going to the gym. I'm at the gym right now. I've got my meal prep going. I've got my supplements and shit that I'm taking. I've got my like kind of routine in the morning set up. I'm going to talk more about that too, because I've started taking some things and I've started tweaking some stuff with my, kind of routine and regimen that's helped a lot. So I'll make another video. That'll probably be the next one. But yeah, man, just focusing on what do I need to get done today? What do I need to do right now that's going to allow me to become the best version of myself for the future? And it's just really like, bro, become smarter, become stronger, and make some fucking money. And that's pretty much it. So if you wake up every day and just focus on like solving those problems, solving for those things, accomplishing the tasks that move the needles forward in those areas, like, dude, you're winning. You know what I mean? Take the small battles, let each day play out, and kind of just be immersed in the moment. And the biggest part about that I've realized is when you don't live your life in the moment, you miss all of the opportunities that are presented to you by being present. And when you're thinking about all this stuff in the future and you're almost in this like paranoid, borderline anxious kind of state, projecting yourself, trying to see into the future, trying to realize things that haven't happened yet, trying to see opportunities, trying to look for things. What about this business idea? What about this way to make money? What about this thing? What about that? What if this happens? When you're projecting and seeing all of that stuff and kind of almost adding your own narrative to it as well through your perspective and your way that you're seeing and looking and thinking about things, you 100% miss the opportunities that are laying right in front of your eyes. And in order to see those and see them accurately, you need to be fully immersed in the now. You also need to leave your ego at the door and just not be emotional when you're thinking or seeing things. Like, the ability to be present and just allowing things to happen is really, really important. Kind of a quick tangent, but that's another skill that I feel like I've gotten back recently is, I feel like in the past I had extreme emotional discipline, and especially when dealing with other people. And let's be honest, like, we all have people in our lives that make things difficult for us or that we don't necessarily agree with or get along with all the time. And there are people that you have to deal with that just fucking piss you off, right? And I feel like I had extreme control over my handling of the situations with people that piss me off, or things that, situations that I could have reacted to, situations that I could have seen through this, kind of lens of them just saying something or meaning something different when they didn't, just interpreting things the wrong way because I kind of have this like filter that I'm seeing this person through because I don't really like them. And I feel like that's something that I kind of lost touch with past couple years, but I feel like I've regained that ability and that control, and I've only realized that because I've caught myself in certain situations recently where someone says something or does something, and I kind of just sit there and I'm like, okay, like, sure, yeah, you're right. Like, not arguing, not fighting, bro, not trying to like prove a fucking point, not like engaging and like leading these people on and just creating more of a fucking mess. Like, I don't know, just that emotional, discipline to be able to sit there and just allow things to happen, not see them as good or bad, just let shit fucking play out, and, not be too invested or like get emotionally involved in bullshit that doesn't suit you, man. Because if you got your priorities straight, if you got your head on straight, you're thinking about other shit, you're like, dude, I don't like the exact thought process that I was thinking of in the situation that I'm kind of referencing in this whole thing is like not engaging with this dumbass conversation. And in my brain, I'm just thinking like, bro, this isn't worth the energy. Like, I've got other shit I need to do. Like, I'm just gonna like let these words and this conversation come in one ear and out the other and just forget about it, not engage, bro. Because when you actually have better shit to do, it's a little easier to ignore all the fucking bullshit and people that are just yapping, fucking wasting time. Anyways, guys, it's been 20 minutes. If you're still here, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Yeah, stay strong, stay blessed, stay dangerous. Hope you're having a great 2025, y'all. Peace.